And they said, if you leave them, then what's going to happen? More and more people are going to follow Musa alayhi salam. More and more people are going to become rebellious towards you. Just look at it, your magicians. Those people who were skilled, they left you and they followed Musa. So if you leave the people, what's going to happen? Everyone is going to rebel against you. The magicians could dare to do that. Just imagine what the other people will do. So you have to do something. You have to take some action. Look at how they're inciting Fir'aun. That are you going to leave Musa and his people? لِيُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, so that they spread corruption in the land? وَيَذَرَكَ, and he leaves you. Who leaves you? Musa alayhi salam leaves you, or his people, they leave you. And the people of Musa alayhi salam refers to the Bani Israel as well as all those who had believed in him. Whether it was the magicians or other than the magicians who had believed in Musa alayhi salam. So are you going to leave them so that they spread corruption in the land, whereas they have left you, وَآلِهَتَكَ, and also your gods? What does it mean by this? وَيَذَرَكَ وَآلِهَتَكَ. Yadara is from the root letters waw, dal, ra, wadara. And what does that mean? To leave, to abandon. And what does it mean by that he is leaving you? That he is not worshipping you. Because Fir'aun, he claimed to be God. He was supposed to be the sun god, or the representative of God. And people actually worshipped him. And Fir'aun claimed that أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى, I am your greatest Lord. So they don't worship you. Musa doesn't prostrate to you. And yadaraka also gives a sense of that he leaves you, meaning he does not accept your high position, your superiority. That look, there are two leaders now in the society. One is you, and on the other hand is Musa. And what are these people doing? They're not accepting your superiority, rather they are going for Musa alayhi salam. وَآلِهَتَكَ, and they have also abandoned your gods. Meaning, they don't worship them. And aliha is a plural of ilah. What does this show? That the people of Fir'aun, or the religion of Fir'aun, was of polytheism. They used to worship multiple gods. Fir'aun himself claimed to be God, but at the same time, he also used to worship gods. And at the same time, the rest of the people would also worship other gods. They had many, many gods. It is said that they used to worship the cow. Similarly, they used to worship various idols which they had made. So they have left you and they have also left your idols. قَالَ, he said, meaning Fir'aun said, سَنُقَتِّلُ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ, soon we're going to kill all of their sons. Abna is a plural of ibn, meaning their newborn sons, their newborn children, especially the males, we're going to kill them. And we're going to have no mercy. Look at the word nuqattilu, from qattala yuqattilu taqtil, which is to kill brutally, to kill to pieces, to cut something to pieces, to kill each and every one. We're not going to have any mercy. We're not going to spare even one. سَنُقَتِّلُ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ وَنَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَهُمْ, and we're going to keep alive their women. وَإِنَّا فَوْقَهُمْ قَاهِرُونَ, and indeed we are over them, meaning over the Bani Israel, because they are a slave nation to us. We are qahirun over them. Qahirun is a plural of qahir. And who is qahir? One who has qahr over the other. And what does qahr mean? To have dominance. And also to subjugate the other. To subjugate the other. To have power over the other. So we have complete power over them. They are our slaves and we can do whatever we want to with them. So what do we learn from this ayah? That the Bani Israel, their sons, their boys, their infants, they were killed at what time? At the time when Musa a.s. was born. Even at that time. And now again, after Musa a.s. came as a messenger, again Fir'aun did the same thing. Why? In order to finish the Bani Israel. Look at the cruelty of Fir'aun. That Musa a.s. said, let these people go. Send them home. He said no. He refused to send them home, but he was willing to kill them. He was willing to finish their entire people. How? By killing the men and by letting the women alive. Obviously, how is that generation going to continue? How is that people going to continue? It's not going to last very long. Very soon, that entire nation is going to be finished. He wasn't willing to let them go, but he was willing to finish them. And we learned that this is exactly what he did. In Surah Ghafir, ayah number 26, we learn, وَقَالَ فِرْعَوْنُ ذَرُونِي أَقْتُلْ مُوسَى وَلْيَدْعُ رَبَّهُ. And Fir'aun said, let me kill Musa. Leave me alone and let me kill Musa. And let him call upon his Lord. وَلْيَدْعُ رَبَّهُ إِنِّي أَخَافُ أَن يُبَدِّلَ دِينَكُمْ. Indeed, I fear that he will change your religion. أَوْ أَن يُظْهِرَ فِي الْأَرْضِ الْفَسَادِ. Or that he will cause corruption in the land. Look how threatened Fir'aun felt just by the presence of one person in his nation. One person who wasn't even fighting for any leadership in that society. He just came to deliver the message of Tawheed and to tell him to end his oppression and let the slave people go. That's all he came to do. And Fir'aun felt so threatened that he's like, let me kill him. Otherwise, he's going to change your religion or he's going to spread a lot of corruption in the land. So Fir'aun, he killed their sons, the sons of Bani Israel. So in other words, he increased his oppression on the Bani Israel. قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ. Musa a.s. said to his people. Who were his people? The Bani Israel. Because you see, it was a national problem now. The future of the entire Bani Israel was at stake. And there was also action that was being taken. That the infants, the boys, they were being killed. All of them. And the girls were being kept alive. So just imagine the state of Bani Israel. قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ. Musa a.s. said to his people, in the midst of all of this, he presented to the Bani Israel a solution. And what was that solution? إِسْتَعِينُوا بِاللَّهِ وَاصْبِرُوا. Seek help with Allah and also be patient. إِسْتَعِينُوا بِاللَّهِ. إِسْتَعِينُوا is from the root letters, عَيْن واو نون. إِسْتِعَانَةً, which is to seek help. And وَاصْبِرُوا, be patient. Over what? Over the persecution that you're suffering from. Have sabr over this hardship. Why have sabr only? Why not do something? Because you cannot do anything. You cannot combat the oppression that you're suffering from. You cannot fight the enemy. You cannot defend yourself. You're not in that position to even defend yourself. Forget fighting the enemy. You can't even defend yourself. Because just imagine, they're slaves. And if the army of Fir'aun comes to kill your son, what can you do? To pick up your son, to just take your son away, what can you do? You can't do anything. You're not in any position to even defend yourself. So what do you have to do? You have to seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because at the end of the day, only He can help you. Even you cannot help yourself. And secondly, you have to be patient over the hardship that you're suffering from. Because if you're not patient, then what's the point? What's the point of going through all of this difficulty? Because if you think of it, when a person is in a difficult situation, he can do something, he should do it. To save himself, to protect himself. But if he cannot do anything, and if he does not even do sabr, then he has lost his dunya and he has also lost his akhirah. He has lost in both worlds. He will not even get any reward for that difficulty that he's gone through. So at least secure reward for your akhirah, because you cannot help yourself in this position. Ista'inu billahi wasbiru. And remember that innal arda, indeed the earth, it is lillah, it is for Allah. It belongs to Allah. Over here, what is he hinting at? That the land belongs to Allah. Today, Fir'aun has power over it. And this is temporary. You don't know when the tables will turn. You don't know when Fir'aun will lose his power. Because the land belongs to Allah. Fir'aun has power over it only for some time. إِنَّ الْأَرْضَ لِلَّهِ يُورِثُهَا مَن يَشَاءُ. He makes to inherit it whomever He wills. He gives the land to whoever He wills. Meaning He gives authority over this earth to whomsoever He wills. So over here, what is He telling the Bani Israel? That this is the will of Allah. If He has given power to Fir'aun right now, there is some wisdom behind it. Because He gives it to whomsoever He wills. He has willed it for Fir'aun, and there is some wisdom behind it. يُورِثُهَا مَن يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ, from His servants. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ, and the end result is with who? لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, for those who fear Allah. And remember the meaning of the word aqibah, it is used for a good end, a good consequence. So the final good end is in whose favor? It's in the favor of those people who live a life of taqwa. And what does taqwa mean? That a person remains patient. And what does patience mean? That when a person is going through difficulty, then no incorrect statement comes out of his mouth. Like the Prophet ﷺ, when his son passed away, what did he say? That the tears flow out of the eyes. The heart also feels sad. But at the same time, nothing that upsets my Lord will come out of my mouth. Nothing at all. This is what sabr is. And what does that show? That a person has taqwa. He does feel sad, but he will not say anything that will upset his Lord. So those people who have taqwa, who live like this, who behave like this, even in the most difficult situations, they're the ones for whom there is a good end. In this dunya, and if it's not in the dunya, then definitely in the hereafter. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. If you look over here, how Musa a.s. is encouraging the Bani Israel. And through this, it is very clear as to how a religious leader is. How a religious leader is different from a mere political national leader. If you look at it generally, when the people are suffering from a calamity, when the people are suffering from a disaster, whether it is by the hands of the enemy or because of a national disaster, generally, what do mere political or worldly leaders do? What do they say? They will go, they will give their speeches, they will make the people very emotional, and they will promise them such things which are completely untrue. They don't have any ability themselves. The people don't have any ability either. They will say such things that will arouse the emotions of the people, and at the end of the day, nothing is done. And if people do take any action, at the end of the day, it only harms them. It only harms them. There are riots that break out. People begin to fight with one another, and there is no benefit at all. Rather, the people actually suffer from more harm. On the other hand, the religious leader, what does he do? What does he do? He accepts the situation at hand. He sees that yes, we cannot do anything right now. We have very limited resources. We are weak. We don't have the ability to even defend ourselves. So in this situation, what does he do? Does he leave the people and go away to another country to enjoy himself at least? No. What does he do? He goes to the people and he tells them, Ista'inu billah. Seek help with Allah. We need to change ourselves. We need to be deserving of the help of Allah. Perhaps we are doing something wrong because of which Allah's mercy is not coming to us. Ista'inu billah. And at the same time, wasbiru. Many times when there is a disaster or anything like that, and people send aid, what are they concerned about? Food. What are they concerned about? Shelter, clothing. This is what they're concerned about. But okay, fine. You will give people food. You will give them clothing. You will provide them with a shelter perhaps. But is that really going to satisfy them in their hearts? No. They need to be told that you need to do sabr at this time. They need to be told you need to seek help from Allah at this time. And this is exactly what Musa a.s. did. Ista'inu billahi wasbiru. And at the same time, he is giving them hope. That innal arda lillah. All of this earth belongs to Allah. If in this land there is difficulty for you, there is so much land out there, perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take us over there. And if Fir'aun is over here right now, the land belongs to Allah, there is some wisdom that He has given this land to him. And this is something that we need to accept as well. Because many times we cannot accept other people's superiority. And we're like, how could Allah allow this to happen? How could Allah give such an oppressor so much power, so much money, so much authority? The fact is that it's the will of Allah. Every situation is a test. Every situation. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given authority to a person at a time, then he is being tested, and at the same time, others are also being tested. So we see from this ayah in particular, the quality or the behavior of the religious leader at the time when his people are suffering from a difficulty. At the time when his people are suffering from a calamity. That he encourages them to turn to Allah, not to turn to him. Because many times people say that, yes, I am here, I will help you. But the fact is that Musa a.s. is saying, even I cannot help you. You need the help of Allah. Ista'inu billah. What happened then? What was the response of the Bani Israel? قالوا, they said, أُذِينَا مِنْ قَبْلِ, we were hurt from before. أُذِينَا from the root letters, Hamza, Dhal, Ya. Adha. And what does adha mean? What does adha mean? Hurt. When someone is suffering from some harm. And the word adha includes physical as well as mental ailment. Mental hurt. When a person is suffering physically, and he's also suffering mentally, emotionally. Udina, we were made to hurt. Min qabli an ta'tina, before you came to us. Meaning, when you didn't come to us, before you had come to us as a messenger, we were in a lot of difficulty. We were suffering from a lot of oppression. And what was that oppression? That we were made slaves, our sons were being killed. Before Musa a.s. was made the messenger, this was happening. وَمِن بَعْدِ مَا جِئْتَنَا, and even after that you have come to us. Meaning, since you have come, our state has not changed. When you came, we were hopeful that perhaps our situation is going to change. Fir'aun is not going to oppress us anymore, or at least we will leave, or things will change somehow. However, things have gone back to exactly how they were before. Our boys were being killed before, and now again they're being killed. We had high expectations, but nothing has changed. مِن بَعْدِ مَا جِئْتَنَا. قَالَ, he said. Who said? Musa a.s. responded that عَسَى رَبُّكُمْ, hopefully your Lord. Asa gives the meaning of perhaps, but when it is used for Allah, it gives the meaning of hopefully, definitely, inshallah, very soon. عَسَى رَبُّكُمْ أَن يُهْلِكَ عَدُوَّكُمْ, perhaps your Lord will destroy your enemy. Because everything is in the hands of Allah. Be hopeful. So over here we see that Musa a.s. is making his people hopeful. Because a believer never despairs of the help of Allah. Never. Because he trusts Allah. No matter how impossible the situation may seem. Even if you think that nothing has changed. Things are exactly how they were before. If you look at it, for instance, over here. Before their sons were being killed, and now again the sons are being killed. Before they were being oppressed, and now again they were being oppressed. Nothing has changed. Similarly in our lives, sometimes we want something to happen. But we see that years and years go by, but nothing has changed. We are still standing where we were. It happens. But what does Musa a.s. do? He makes them hopeful. عَسَى رَبُّكُمْ, perhaps your Lord, أَن يُهْلِكَ عَدُوَّكُمْ, perhaps He will destroy your enemy. It's in His hands. Everything is in His hands. So never become hopeless. وَيَسْتَخْلِفَكُمْ, and He will make you successors, fil ard, in the land. Meaning He will give you authority in the land. Which land? Whether it is in the land of Egypt or it is some other land. For example, Palestine. That He will give you authority in the land. He will make you free people in the land. فَيَنْظُرَ, and then He will look, كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ, how is it that you are working? Meaning, right now, you are in a test. And what is that test? You are enslaved. You are being oppressed. And tomorrow, inshallah, when Allah will free you, when you will become a free nation, and He will give you authority, then again Allah will see as to how are you behaving, what are you doing. In every situation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. What do we do? Because He has created life, and that's why. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Which of you is best indeed? In action. And that's exactly what Musa a.s. is saying. فَيَنْظُرَ كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. That even then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to observe your actions. He's going to see, how do you behave? What do you do? In a different situation. So we see that people are made to go through different situations in life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes the situation. And sometimes it takes very long to go from one situation to another. However, in each situation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is observing how His slave behaves, how His slave responds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ بِالسِّنِينَ. And we certainly seized the people of Fir'aun with years of famine. وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا. The word أخذ. What does أخذ mean? To seize. And the word is also used for seizing with punishment. So we seized the people of Fir'aun, meaning we seized them with punishment. Remember that whenever a messenger is sent to a people, and the people don't respond positively, then what happens? What happens? What did we learn in the previous ayat? That before the final punishment is sent, what is sent? Minor punishments. Why? So that the people, يَضَّرَّعُونَ, they humble themselves to Allah. They turn to Allah. So similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested the people of Fir'aun as well. He put them in hardship as well. فَأَخَذْنَاهُمْ بِالْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. So وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ بِالسِّنِينَ, with famine. The word as-sinin is actually used for years. It's used for years. And literally the word means to blaze. What does it mean? To blaze. And because of this reason, the word sinin is generally used for years of famine. What is it used for? Years of famine. Years of decrease in wealth. Decrease in resources. Because when there is a drought, when there is a famine, what happens? People begin using whatever resources they have accumulated over the past years. And as they are not making any more money, or they're not earning any more resources, then what happens? Their resources, they become depleted over time. They are set on fire in a way, that one thing after the other is being consumed. So, we seized the people of Fir'aun with sinin, meaning with years of drought. There was recession in their economy. People were not earning money. Why? Because of the drought. Because of the famine. And it is said that this was for many years. It went on. وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ, and reduction in fruits. Naqs is from the root letters Nun, Qaf, Sad. And what does it mean? Decrease. Shortage. And athamarat is a plural of thamara. And what does thamara apply to? All kinds of produce. Whether it is fruits or vegetables or nuts or grains, all different types of produce. So they were also tested with a loss, a reduction, a shortage of produce. That, for example, people go to the store and they find out no fruit, no apples. That's it. Just imagine if you go to the store, you can't find apples. You go to different stores, you can't find them anywhere. This is what? Naqs min ath-thamarat. Similarly, the people of Fir'aun were also tested. Why? لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ, so that they would take a lesson. What lesson? What would they realize? That perhaps this is because we are oppressing the Bani Israel. Perhaps this is a result of our oppression. Perhaps this is a result of our injustice. how we have treated people so unjustly over the past years that maybe because of that reason, we are suffering from a drought, we are suffering from a recession in our economy, and we are suffering from a shortage of produce, that people don't have food to eat. But what happened? فَإِذَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْحَسَنَةُ But when good came to them, in these years of drought, if there was a year of prosperity, if there was a year in which there was more produce, if a hasana came to them, قالوا, they would say, meaning the people of Fir'aun would say, لَنَا هَذِهِ This is for us. Meaning this is ours by right. We deserve this. We deserve this. We have earned it. We have acquired it ourselves. So in other words, when they would receive something good, in those years of famine, they would still not turn to Allah. They would still not be grateful to Allah. And they would think, this is because we deserve it. It's our right. We put in so much hard work, therefore we have obtained this. So they would not acknowledge that it would come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِن تُصِبُهُمْ And if it reached them, what reached them? سَيِّئَةٌ Any kind of evil. Whether it was some kind of hardship, or it was some bad season, or it was shortage of food, or it was a lot of heat or drought, or anything like that, if they suffered from some difficulty, what would they say? يَطَّيَّرُوا They would consider it as a bad omen, because of who? بِمُوسَى Because of Musa alayhi salam. What does it mean by this? يَطَّيَّرُوا بِمُوسَى وَمَن مَّعَهُ They would ascribe it as a bad omen to who? To Musa and who was with him, meaning those who believed in Musa alayhi salam. The word يَطَّيَّرُوا is from the root letters ta, ya, ra. And what does طَيْر mean? طَيْر, طائر, bird. يَطِيرُ بِجَنَاحَيْهِ Remember? It flies with its two wings. You may have heard of the word طِيَرَةٌ. It's from the same root. And what does طِيَرَةٌ mean? To consider something as an omen. Basically, the Arabs, if they were indecisive with regards to doing something or not doing something, they would fly a bird. And if the bird would fly to the right side, it was known as sanih. Sanih. Sin, alif, nun, ha. And if the bird flew to the right side, the sanih bird, it was a sign of good luck. It was a sign of good luck. So if the bird flies to the right, good luck, do it. And if the bird flew to the left, it was called barih. And that was a sign of bad luck. Therefore, they wouldn't do it. So basically, طِيَرَةٌ is to ascribe bad luck or good luck to an object or to an event. Do you understand? To ascribe bad luck or good luck to an object, to a person, or to an event. Similarly, what do people do today? If a black cat crosses before you, then what does that mean? That's a sign of bad luck. So bad luck is ascribed to what? A black cat passing, crossing the street. So it's ascribed to an object and an event. That because of this event, because this and this happened, this is a sign that I should not do this. This is a sign that if I do what I intended to do, it won't be good for me. So, يَطَّيَّرُوا بِمُوسَى وَمَن مَّعَهُ If there was something bad that ever happened, they considered it to have happened. Why? Because of the presence of Musa alayhi salam. That because Musa alayhi salam is here, that's why we're suffering from this evil. We are suffering from this bad luck because of who? Because of the presence of Musa alayhi salam. وَمَن مَّعَهُ And those who were with him. So when they will leave, everything will be okay. Because they are here, that's why we're suffering from this difficulty. What does Allah say? أَلَا إِنَّمَا طَائِرُهُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ Unquestionably, their ta'ir, their ill omen is with who? With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning their share of bad, whatever is decreed for them, whatever evil is decreed for them, it comes from who? from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because of the presence of something, not because of the occurrence of something. No. It comes by who? By the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember that at-tiyara is shirk. If a person says that because such and such has happened, therefore bad luck will come to me, or because I have put this thing up, this thing is going to avert bad luck from me, or it's going to bring good luck to me, then all of this is what? Shirk. Because you're ascribing good or bad, benefit or loss to what? To an object, to a person, to a thing. And it comes only from who? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is giving Allah's exclusive right to someone else. Allah says, أَلَا إِنَّمَا طَائِرُهُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Their ta'ir is with Allah. Whatever is decreed for a person, good or evil, comes from who? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But most of them don't know that good and bad are both from Allah. Most people don't know that good and bad are both from Allah. Rather they think, it's because of so-and-so person. It's because of such and such happened. It's because so-and-so saw me. It's because so-and-so looked at me and they passed a comment and they were looking at me like that. No. It doesn't happen because of so-and-so person and so-and-so object. Anything that happens to a person happens by the will of Allah, by the permission of Allah, by the decree of Allah. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Most of the people don't realize. And we see over here the behavior of the people of Fir'aun in this ayah. That if there was something good, they would ascribe it to themselves. And if there was something bad, they would ascribe it to who? Musa alayhi salam. And many times we do this as well. If something good happens, we're like, yes, I did it. I deserve it. I put in so much hard work. We take the credit for it very happily, very willingly. But if something bad happens, then what do? We start blaming other people. We start blaming the circumstances. We start blaming the situation that we're in. Everything we blame, except for ourselves. This is exactly what the people of Fir'aun did. وَقَالُوا. And they said. Who said? The people of Fir'aun said to Musa alayhi salam that مَهْمَا تَأْتِنَا بِهِ مِنْ آيَةٍ. No matter what sign you bring us, لِتَسْحَرَنَا بِهَا, to bewitch us with it, فَمَا نَحْنُ لَكَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ, we will not be believers in you at all. This is how stubborn they had become. That they said, mahma. What does mahma mean? Whatever, whatsoever, whenever, anything, anytime you bring to us. What? Min ayatin, any kind of ayah. Any kind of miracle you show to us, at whatever time. لِتَسْحَرَنَا بِهَا, so that you can bewitch us with it. فَمَا نَحْنُ لَكَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ, we're never going to believe in you. Notice over here, they're calling the miracle of Allah magic. That you want to bewitch us with it. You want to enchant us with it. You want us to come under the effect of your magic. We're not going to believe in it. So in other words, they were saying, do whatever you want. Bring whatever sign you want. We're not going to believe. Give up hope of our belief. If someone becomes this stubborn, if they become this stubborn, then what can you do to help them? That they're saying, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, I'm not going to accept what you're saying. Then why should you bother wasting your time with them? Should you not move on? Of course you should. You've tried so hard. It is said that Musa alayhi salam, he stayed in Egypt doing da'wah for 40 years. 40 years. He was there. Trying to make the people of Fir'aun believe. Trying to make them realize that what they were doing was wrong. That they should release the Bani Israel. And at the same time, he was encouraging the Bani Israel that they should remain hopeful. They should not give up hope. They should continue to seek help with Allah. They should be patient. 40 years. But what was the constant response of the people of Fir'aun? No matter what you do, no matter what you say, we're not going to believe in you. Upon this we learn that Musa a.s. he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Yunus, ayah number 88, we learn, وَقَالَ مُوسَى رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ آتَيْتَ فِرْعَوْنَ وَمَلَأَهُ زِينَةً وَأَمْوَالًا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. And Musa a.s. said, Our Lord, indeed you have given Fir'aun and his establishment splendor and wealth in this worldly life. لِيُضِلُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِكَ, so that they may lead men astray from your way. رَبَّنَا اطْمِسْ عَلَى أَمْوَالِهِمْ وَاشْدُدْ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ فَلَا يُؤْمِنُوا حَتَّى يَرَوُا الْعَذَابَ الْأَلِيمِ. Our Lord, obliterate their wealth, finish it, and harden their hearts, so that they will not believe until they see the painful punishment. So Musa a.s. prayed